right, we're going to start Unit 13, Section 3. And in this section, we're going to talk about how to go back and forth between percents and decimals. So go ahead and look at the chart at the top. It says to write a decimal as a percent, move the decimal point 2 places to the right and write a percent sign. To write a percent as a decimal, move the decimal point 2 places to the left and remove the percent sign. So we're going from decimals to percents, then we're going from percents to decimals. So let's look at a few examples. In the first one, we're going to write these examples as percents. So we're going to move the first one 2 places to the right, 2 places to the right, and then we're going to write our percent sign. So this would be 17%. We're going to do the same thing with 85 hundredths. Move it 2 places to the right. I have 85%. Last but not least, the 4 and 31 hundredths. We're going to again move it 2 places to the right, and we're going to have 431%. Now we're going to go the other way. We're going to write these percents as decimals. So again, we're going to start with 4%. I know my decimal is behind the 4, so I'm going to move it 2 places to the left instead. So my decimal would be 4 hundredths. Again, this makes sense because 4 hundredths written as a fraction is 4 over 100, and then we know that is written as 4%. So let's do the same thing here. Again, I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the left. So this one would equal 0.0068. Last but not least, with 230, the decimal's behind the 0. When I move it 2 places to the left, I get 2.3. All right, in this next section, we're going to write these fractions as percents. And in this section, I would like you to use a calculator. So when we turn a fraction into a percent, we're dividing our numerator by our denominator. So 5/8 is simply 5 divided by 8. When I put that into a calculator, I get 625 thousandths. Again, in order to go from a decimal to a percent, we're going to move our decimal 2 places to the right. So this percentage would be 62.5%. Next, I'm going to do the same thing. 1/6 equals 1 divided by 6. When I put that into a calculator, I get 0.1667. I then need to turn that into a percent. I'm going to move it 2 places to the right, so you should have 16.67%. Last but not least, 9/4 is 9 divided by 4. This equals 2.25, or 2 and 25 hundredths. 2 places to the right, again, this equals 225%. All right. In this next section, we're going to find percent of the number. So we want to find 14% of 70. We know we can write 14% as 0.14 because we move that decimal 2 places to the left to get a decimal. Then this of is a keyword that means multiply. So 0.14 times 70. When you do that multiplication, you should get 9.8 or 9 8/10. Next, we're going to do the same thing, but we're multiplying 225% times 108. So when I move it 2 places to the left, I get 2.25 times 108. When I do that, you should get 243. I'm going to leave this last one for you to try. Remember, turn it into a decimal and then multiply by 500. All right, our first word problem has to do with the area on Earth. So the area of Earth's dry land is about 58 million square miles. The land area of Antarctica is about 9.3% of Earth's dry land area. What is the approximate land area of Antarctica? So we know the land area of Antarctica is 9.3%. So we're going to multiply 9.3% times that 58 million square miles. When I do that, I'm going to turn 9.3% into a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. I have 0.093 times 58 million. When you do that in your calculator, you should come up with 5,394,000 square miles. All right, I'm going to have you try numbers 2 and 3, again using that same strategy. Last but not least, there are a couple of review problems at the end where you're simply going to solve for x, solving those equations with decimals. Thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask your teachers. Whoops.